Hi, you guys. Welcome to a new episode of Too Much with Shey
and Becca. Hey, y'all. As y'all can tell, I'm in a fantabulous mood. I know, don't get too happy, don't get too excited, but y'all need to understand, as Knicks fans who have suffered, mind you, they talked about we've been in a drought for 50 plus years since our last championship. Let me tell y'all, I'm 27. They've been in a drought my whole life. I don't know nothing about the 50 plus. All I know is a generation has been missed since there's been a potential for my Knicks to make it to like the goal, the end goal. So like, do I probably look real ridiculous to y'all right now? Probably. But how do I feel in my heart?
I feel like you have to show them though. They can't right now. It just seems you have orange.
Yeah, you see the Shayla. This is my birthday gift from Shayla, y'all. Look.
Yeah. The light that she has on doesn't let you see it, but it has like the Knicks logo on it and pearls. And
first off, yes, the wig is laid. What lace? That's why this growing out my scalp. You can't tell me nothing. But yes, welcome to the Too Much podcast with my lovely Shayla and your girl Becca. I want to say thank you to all the new subscribers. We love you guys down. I know I seem really chipper this morning, but I have a lot to be happy about. But again, we're going to talk about a lot of stuff that's including news and all that. But before we get into all that, we got to give our weekly rundown, or is it weekly breakdown? Yeah, no, weekly rundown. Oh, before we go, I want to warn you guys in advance. Your girl's birthday is coming up. I will no longer be the ripe, young, tenderoni, 27-year-old you see sitting in front of y'all. I'm about to be 20, finger licking 8. Okay, you feel me? I ate down on that finger licking part.
She laughs at her own jokes.
If you can't make yourself happy, who will make you happy? You feel me?
That's real.
Hey. Yes, your girl is going to be 28. So I want to warn y'all in advance. Rebecca is going to Chicago for her birthday. And due to that, Shayla and I are friends outside the podcast. And she literally can't go nowhere. So guess where she's going to be? With me, because she can't go nowhere else, right? So we're going to be in Chicago and we will be missing an episode next week. But it's okay because we got like 100 plus episodes. And we got episodes that don't even got nothing to do with
it. Honestly, we have enough episodes to not post a full year. Okay.
Literally, we got stuff on top of stuff, and we even had interviews that we've done in the past. We did one with a relationship therapist. We did one about the tensions between Haiti and DR. We also did one about plus size women. Like we have travel also. If you're into travel, we have a whole interview about that too. So there's content for you guys. So I don't want you to think, oh, they just leaving us like the ugly stepchild. Never that, baby. But we got life to enjoy. What?
It was why they had to be ugly.
Because the stepsisters in Cinderella was ugly.
Okay.
Right. But let's get into our weekly run. Our weekly rundown. What's happening? My tongue fat today, cannot talk. But Shayla, go first.
So for my weekly rundown, honestly, I've just been on go since Arizona. Nothing really crazy. The only thing I would say is the reason why I'm wearing this dress, y'all really can't see, but it's it gives I'm running for office dress. Because I don't know if you guys can relate to this, but I feel like when an outfit doesn't get enough traction or eyes or visibility, I'm gonna rewear it until I feel like it gets enough views. And so I was supposed to film something at work, so I wore this presidential giving dress. And unfortunately, the way media works, sometimes just things don't go as you plan. But honestly, that's in general. I was supposed to do a shoot. The shoot never happened. So I'm like, well, now I got to rewear the dress. And so now I have this presidential looking dress for the podcast. Has that ever happened to you, Rebecca? If an outfit didn't get seen enough, I'm going to rewear it until I feel like it does.
Shayla, you know I'm the type of person I will wear something until I feel like I am my heart's content. Shayla calls it, what's it called? You like the things that you wear consistently. You called it
Oh,
something.
my kitty-pong.
Yes, Shayla will
Yes.
clock me because there's this one black jumpsuit. If you go through my Instagram, it's there 8 times. I don't care if I spent money on it and I like it. It's going to be on me until I feel like I've gotten enough, and I don't have enough until a hole comes into it. And even then, I'm gonna sew it up and I'm gonna pop that thing right back on. I will rewear
Yeah.
an outfit. I never cared, and y'all know I buy almost everything on sale. So it's like I need to wear the amount I almost would have paid until I feel like I'm happy.
Yeah, I was so upset. But anyways, that's fine. It's giving. I bought this from Burlington, y'all. Let me stand up. It gives president. It's like this little. Oh, you guys can't hear me, but let me just show you.
Body tea. Body tea.
My coworker was like, "Oh, it's giving Chanel vibes." I said, "Baby, this from Burlington for $15.99. That's my type of Chanel."
What was the? Do you know what the original price tag was?
Baby, I don't know what is. I don't really know, but I'm like, "Oh, Chanel. Okay, so I'm wearing Chanel."
This is where like my girl math brain comes through because I love to see what the previous price was. So then when I see the clearance price, I can't like. I know some people are like, oh, like, you know, when you get stuff, don't tell people. Like in my brain, it doesn't click. Like when people are like, oh my God, I like that. Like people be like, I like your wig. I'll be like, girl, I got it off Amazon. I don't know why I do this.
Yeah, no, honestly, I'm the same way. If someone gives me a compliment on something, after the thank you, I'm going to tell you where I got it. I never understood people that gatekeep. I think that is weird. I don't care. That's just weird. Like, why would you? I think that's you think you bigger than the program. If you got something somewhere and you don't want to tell people where you got it, what's wrong with you? So other than that, the weather has finally been consistently nice a little bit, which I love. It is hot, but I asked for this heat, so I cannot complain. And lastly, I'm trying to think. I'm trying to get back on my workout schedule. That has been really hard ever since I came back from Arizona. There's so many things happening. I honestly give props to people that know how to balance social life and health and wellness because it is very hard. I want to go out with the happy hours with my coworkers, but also it's like, girl, I need to get right back to Jersey to go to the gym. People are like, oh, let's go here, let's do that. Rebecca was like, oh, we should go to a watch party Saturday. And I'm like, already thinking about the next week where we're going to be in Chicago and there's going to be no gym and it's going to be just eating out and drinking. It's just, how do you guys do it? I'm trying to find a balance because I also feel like it's important to live life, right? We're young. This is our time to be outside. But I'm like, how can I be outside and still be light and fit? It's hard, but we're trying. And yeah, I'm super excited to go to Chicago. Like Rebecca mentioned, next week there will not be a new episode, but feel free to catch up on all the amazing content that we already do have. Also, a milestone. We hit a milestone on Instagram, y'all. Please follow us there. We finally, baby, it's actually embarrassing. It is so embarrassing. Rebecca keeps a tracker of she's like the analytics person out of the both of us. I don't keep up with the numbers because it will get to my head. Okay. And so last month she shared all of them except Instagram. And I said, oh, where's IG? My poor sis gave up on IG because it's never no movement. So we finally reached 140 followers on Instagram. And I just want to say thank you from the bottom of baby, my toes, not even my heart, my toes, because we have been fighting. And I think it took us like nearly 3 months to gain one.
I'm laughing.
That's embarrassing.
Like, y'all don't hear the I hope y'all hear the appreciation.
Thank you. You gotta laugh. It took 3 months. 3 months to get one follower on Instagram. And so I just want to shout out to y'all. And I'm going to clip this. And please tell us, what do you want to see on Instagram? It's embarrassing. But again, this is also proof.
I'm about to cry.
This is also proof of you have to just stay consistent. Because if you are doing this just for validation, just for the validation, baby, is real dark, and sometimes it feels like no one cares, no one's watching, no one's supporting. Shout out to Ananis. Ananis is my friend. She's also the president of the organization that I'm a part of, the nonprofit. She likes every single video we post, and honestly, like, I truly do appreciate that, because sometimes it does feel lonely. Like, Rebecca and I stay up late nights editing these social clips. We're thinking ahead. What do we do? Sometimes we literally pivot our life to accommodate the podcast. And so the fact that it took us 3 months to gain one singular follower on Instagram, when we are posting a new video every single day on that platform, sometimes it's just, I understand why my sis stopped adding that in the little tracker, because it's so disappointing. What do you mean? You not
But I will
us?
say, when Shayla and I go to Chicago, we're going to make sure that we take some photos together so that Instagram could look like Instagram, and we just post photos of us and stuff like that. Like, Shayla's going to be on it, and I need to make sure that I get into the headspace to match her, because Shayla be the one like, we got to do a TikTok together. I'm like, girl, it's okay. Right? But Shayla, we're going to do it.
We do have. And I think also sometimes when we do get together, we're like, oh, what TikToks to do? So I think, now anytime we share a TikTok idea, we're trying to just share it to our Too Much page. So when we are together, it's easier. We already have kind of a bank of TikToks that we can already do. So please, if you aren't already, follow us on our Instagram at toomuchsb. That's the same for all of our social media platforms. And also this week, last week we discussed the whole nail painting situation with Madden's cover, and that video went kind of viral on TikTok that Rebecca edited.
So did the Love Island one about the girl.
Yeah. But the thing, specifically the one about the nail painting, I think it is so super crazy to me how in 2026 we still have a lot of homophobic people, and sometimes it really be your own people, like the women that are so just triggered. And I just want to say, these athletes are not the ones that should be depending on to raise your kids and build habits and all of those things. If you are raising your child, make sure that you are the one that are, implementing those, I don't even know what the word is, those morals into them. Don't be looking outside for them to be. I just think it's weird. But anyways,
for me, like, to bounce off that point, what's really infuriating to me is that people continuously miss the point. Like, some people were mad that I said, why would I ever go to Boosie about parenting? I think sometimes people need to take into acknowledgement when a person makes a specific point, that automatically allows a certain like rebuttal to be put into that case. The moment that Boosie said, there's billions of little boys purchasing this game, why are you allowing your children to like see this and stuff like that? He put parenting on the platform to be discussed. Sometimes people choose to skip past the point just to sit there and be like, well, you're stupid for saying that. Am I? Or did he bring it into the point and I had to criticize that? But again, we live in a society where people are going to be mad regardless of your take, and common sense really is not common. Just because you don't like fingernail polish on a man does not mean that every man is going to automatically do that. Like,
yeah, it's very much weird, but to each their own. I just felt like we needed to highlight those. And again, please follow us on Instagram because we will be dropping some photos. Okay, thank you. Rebecca, how was your week?
Yes. So let me start off real like raw and hit out there. They officially got your girl. Okay, so yesterday I went to the Dominican hair salon. I got my hair, blow dry. Obviously, it's under the wig. This ain't the hair, right? So I officially went to get it blown out because I'm gonna be getting braids for Chicago. Yes, I'm about to be swing. I'm getting my Beyonce back, right? And so as I'm like jamming to my music, all I see is red and blue lights. I said, dag, they officially got your girl, right? And so the alleged crime, right? Because, you never admit to the crimes. You never. So the alleged crime was that I was going 40 in a 25. Now, I can't dispute said point, because like I said, I was jamming, right? I had me a nice little song on. I was going with the tunes. I was going with the vibes. So I really can't disprove his theory, right? But in this hypothetical emotional standpoint in my head, I wasn't upset hypothetically because I've done allegedly worse. And so
Girl,
for them,
what are you talking about? I'm hearing a whole what?
girl, you never
I'm
admit to the crimes. Never admit to the
Can we
crime.
get to what? I'm so confused.
Girl, they pulled me over allegedly for going 40 in a 25. But what I'm saying is, in this, alleged crime of incidents, I wasn't upset because I feel like allegedly I've done worse on the road. Like, so when he pulled me over, he's like, oh, like, mind you, I didn't even ask. Like, this moment he pulled me over, if y'all don't understand, my keychains is my wallet is connected to my keys, my keychains. I have a bunch of keychains. Remember, it was an obsession for like a month and a half, right? So like on my keys, I probably got like 20 keychains. So I pick up my keychains because he's like license, registration, insurance. And I was like, oh, okay. I pull out my keychain. He look, all you see is like literally all the keychains smacking each other. And I look at him, I was like, sorry, I just have an obsession with keychains at the moment. And he just chuckles. And then I have like this bedazzled case where I keep like my registration and insurance, but I keep all my old ones. So they're kind of all mixed in together. So I really can't tell the new one, like the current one from the old ones. So like I look at him again, I said, I swear I'm not always this messy. And so he's just laughing. Like I just got this man cracking up. But it'd be like that. Then as I'm waiting for him to come give me my ticket, because I'm like, dang, I'm about to get points on my license again for allegedly speeding, right? And so then as I'm sitting there waiting, another cop car pulls up. And so now I have an attitude low key because little old me don't need 2 police cars. Just saying. So I look at the one cop and I give him a stank face and he rolls the window down. He look at me. I'm like, so I was like, you know what? Let me get my Vaseline. So I go in my purse to get my Vaseline. Then the cop who had pulled me over, all I hear is do. I jump because I did not expect him to come out of nowhere. I said, ooh, I was like, you can't do that. And he was just like, I be talking to people, however, it's not my fault. I treat everybody regular to me. So that he said that he's not going to give me a speeding ticket, that he gave me a ticket for something, obstruction of traffic. I'm like, if you're not gonna give me a ticket for the alleged, obviously no points on my license, so I'm grateful. But if you weren't going to give me the speeding ticket, you just gave me nothing. You feel me?
Yeah, the one and only time I've gotten pulled over, they did the same thing. They pulled me over and they were like that it's for speeding, but they're
allegedly.
just no, I'm
allegedly.
Girl, let me tell my story. You said allegedly for yours. They pulled me over for speeding, but they're gonna give me a ticket for not wearing a seatbelt. Like they just switched it up, and I'm like, oh, okay. I was already mad because similar to your story, I feel like I was not really speeding for real, but the town that I was in was not my town, so different towns operate differently on what their standards are. And I knew this, but unfortunately it was what it was. And I'm like, oh, it's like a thank you, but no thank you, because it was like, well, first of all, I really was not speeding for real. So you should have never stopped me. But then again, it's like, well, I guess thank you for giving me a seatbelt one versus a speeding one that could have given me points on my license. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, he was a cool cop. The one who I was talking to, the other one, he really gave me a stank face right back, and I gave it right back. Because, sir, why did you pull up? You bored for little old me, right? So that happened. I want to say, now I know Shayla and I are getting ready for Chicago, but the thing that really irritates me, like, yes, like we booked our flights, everything's already booked and paid for, essentially, for like, Airbnb, this, that, and the third. But no one really talks about how much money you spend on prep alone. Like the prep. And I'm talking about like just for girls, I'm speaking for like nails, hair, this, that, and the third. Like yesterday, Shayla and I were on the phone and I was just like, I stopped for a second and I was just going through the budget that I have like for this week alone, for these next 3 days, in terms of like self-care maintenance. And I was like, Shayla, I'm hitting a well $700. Like that's crazy.
Yeah. And also the week of looking a mess, because you also can't do the stuff too early, because then it's like, well, now the things are not going to be fresh. So no, I'm not going to do my eyebrows the week that I usually do it, or the waxing the week that I got to do it, because I need to look wolfy and all to be, or in order to be able to get things done so they are fresh for the first day of the trip. So honestly, I was telling Rebecca, I'm like, oh, my sister wants me to go to a water park, but I'm like, well, I'm like contemplating. I'm like, girl, I need to look nice and fresh for Chicago. So I don't know. It's looking real. You got to look rough before you can shine on the trip.
And it's actually quite tragic. Like, I'm just like, because I was looking at my eyebrows this morning. I said, dang, I need them done bad. But I'm like, also, I'm like, I can't yet, because like and most of the stuff that I'm gonna be doing in terms of like prep and stuff like that is gonna be done on my actual birthday, because we leave the day after my birthday. So I'm just like, bruh, I'm about to look crazy for a good little minute. Like, I hope nobody asked to take a photo with me beforehand. Also, no, last weekend I went and did my birthday photo shoot, and if you haven't already, while you're following the Too Much SB page, right? You could also go and follow me, because I'm going to be dropping my birthday photo shoot photos at baby. When I said finger licking 28 down, okay? I'm just saying. Shayla saw a little preview and Shayla was even like, oh, you look good. I said, yeah.
Yeah, she's in her grown woman era, which I love.
Listen, go ahead and tune in and tap into that. They're going to drop officially on June 18th, because yeah, right. Also, Shayla, I asked my coworkers, I said to them, I was like, oh, like if we all went camping, how long do you think I would last? Why my one coworker said, I give you to the door open out the car and you going right back in.
But you yourself said you would never do that. You don't
know.
like being outside. You don't like bugs. You don't like heat. You don't like nature. You want to be in AC down. So it's like, of course, you should have been known that. I would never.
Shayla, I think you had asked like, oh, we should go camping. And I said to you, like, yeah, I'll stay at the hotel next to the campsite.
Yeah, you would never, like, yeah. You would do so much complaining that is not even worth having you there. Like, just
I see one ant, gotta go. Like, literally for my birthday photo shoot, like one of the portions where we did for my photos was outside. And it's not until I got home, I'm sitting in my bed after I take a shower, I'm like, why is my arm itchy? I got bit by a spider. I said, bruh, good thing I didn't know, because had I seen that spider on me, we would have canceled the whole shoot. Knowing me, I don't play that. My last thing I'm going to talk about, right? So Rebecca is delusional for fun, right? And when I say for fun, like emphasis for fun, like I like to be in that delusional mindset, but I'm very like in touch with reality. The problem is when I'm not, right? And so as someone who has undiagnosed ADHD, right? One of the characteristics for people who have ADHD is having fixations. And this is where we talk about that problem. When I'm delusional for fun, but it meets that moment of fixation and the two collide and it becomes true delusion, right? And Shayla has been witnessing this for like the last 2 months. We're not going to say the particular thing, but yeah, Shayla has been witnessing that, and Shayla wants to take a newspaper to my head.
Yeah, first of all, she sends me stuff that other people do, and she's like, why would they do that? Do they not know that this is my husband? This is my man. I'm like, girl, you don't know this person. And you dragging them, but you just sent me a collage. So who's really the problem? You right up there with them. She is just, and I'm like, girl, clearly you have too much time, and I need you to find a better addiction. When you were obsessed with going to Trader Joe's and trying new things, when you did your DIY ranch, dairy-free situation, when you wanted to make a banana bread every other day, I need you to get back on that, because this new obsession is like she said, newspaper to the head. She lucky she live an hour away from me, because I would really be like, hello, you need me to shake you up? What's going on? What's going on?
And like y'all, it's at random points. Like I will hit the group chat up and just drop something random about the particular person. I'm like, y'all, da 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 da. And Shayla be like, Rebecca, like I need you. And it's like, I know, like, yes, I know I'm delusional for fun. I get it. But at this current moment, like before this incident, it was keychains. I'm off keychains now though.
I mean, you off of it because you literally, it's like a 30-pound weight, the keychain. Like I think you were low-key forced to. You can't fit now one more. That's it.
No, honestly, yesterday it was pouring rain. Literally, Shayla and I were on the phone. As soon as I get outside to leave work, it starts pouring. And so I'm running. And so I'm like, oh my God, mind you, I got 3 keys, but like 50-11 keychains on my keychain. And so I can't find my keys. I'm like, it's pouring rain. I got my natural hair out. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna have to take these keychains off because it's like problematic. It is. Oh, but y'all, that was a lot to talk about. Again, thank you guys so much for subscribing and for tuning in. Yes, we will be missing next week, but like I said, we have a bunch of content that we've done throughout the last 2 years that we've been having this podcast. So feel free to tune into those. Feel free to comment on those. Feel free to like them. They are there for y'all to consume, and we're happy to do it. So we would love for y'all to enjoy them, but we have news to get into.
Yes. So as usual, we kick off things with our news segment. I know a lot of people don't like to talk about news, but me personally, I feel like it is important to discuss what's happening around the world, but we're not forcing anyone to do anything they don't want to do. Okay. So feel free, if you don't care about news or want to hear about it, fast forward over to our social or sports corner. For today's news topic, it's something that I've been seeing all over my feed this week, and it is the verdict in the Karmelo Anthony case. So before I break things down, I want to show a photo if you're a visual person like me. So here is a photo of the 2 people involved in this case. The person to the left is Karmelo, and then the guy on the right is Austin Metcalf. Okay. So let's get into it. If you're like, what is happening? What is this case about? I'm going to break it down for you. So Anthony is, like I shared in the photo, Anthony is a high school, or was a high school track athlete, and he was convicted in connection with the fatal stabbing of his fellow student athlete, Austin Metcalf, during a track meet in Frisco, Texas in April 2025. He was sentenced this week to 35 years in prison for murder, right? So the guy that I just showed you right here, Anthony, to the left, was sentenced to 35 years in prison for fatally stabbing the guy to the right. And so reports say the incident happened during a track meet, like I mentioned, in 2025 in Texas. And Anthony ended up under another school's tent where he was reportedly asked to leave, right? He did not, and the situation escalated into a confrontation that ended with Metcalf being fatally stabbed. Karmelo's defense argued that he was acting in self-defense. The jury ultimately rejected that claim and found him guilty of murder. The case has sparked strong reactions online, with some saying the sentencing reflects accountability and justice, while others are saying that like the situation escalated quickly and there should have the jury should have selected like a lesser charge, such as manslaughter, which does not require proof of intent to kill. Anthony has now appealed the conviction. The case has also fueled broader conversations around self-defense laws, racial disparities in the justice system, jury representation, and sentencings. His legal team says they plan to continue fighting the case through the appeals process. So I know I said a whole lot, but at the end of the day, both of these kids were student athletes. At the time of the incident, they were both, I believe, 17 years old. They both ran track. Karmelo Anthony, his name. Karmelo Anthony pulled up to the track meet. I guess it wasn't like a home game. It was at another spot. He pulls up. It starts raining, crazy weather. He goes under this tent. And then when he goes under this tent that wasn't a part of his school, the guys that were on that tent was like, you gotta go. Anthony was like, I'm not leaving. And somewhere in this situation, Karmelo Anthony ends up stabbing Metcalf and he dies, right? So this whole legal thing happened, whatever. Now he was convicted of murder, right? Yes, the guy ended up killing the other guy. But a lot of people are saying that Karmelo Anthony killed this guy. Like, how do I say this? He didn't intentionally kill him. He felt like, I came under this tent, these guys were coming all up on me, and I felt like they were trying to do something to me. And in an act of self-defense, I defended myself and I stabbed this guy, but the intent was never for me to kill the person. I was just protecting myself. And so I'm going to share videos of Karmelo Anthony's parents. They have, during the trial, they had like a gag order, so no one could actually like speak out as what was happening. But now that the case is over, although it's going to be reopened or a new thing is going to happen because the family did in fact appeal, a lot of people are now speaking out. And I'm going to share a video from Karmelo Anthony's parents, but also the father of the guy that was killed in this incident. So this interview that I'm going to show you guys is from The Breakfast Club, and it is from Karmelo Anthony's parents.
I want to go back to that day, that track meet. Were you guys at the event, at that track meet on April 2nd?
No, we were not. I was actually supposed to go to the track meet, but the weather was so bad, I just stayed home. It's like, Mama, don't come, just stay home. Mm-hmm. And now, looking back on everything, I wish I was there. I regret not being there for my child.
When did you hear the news that there had been an incident that day?
I received an email saying that there was an incident. No phone call, no anything.
You know how
my instinct was because Karmelo, he's the type of child to let me know everything that's going on, and it wasn't like him to not call me and tell me what was going on. So when I received the email, we have Life 360. So I went into Life 360. I'm like, wait, they said the buses made it back to the school, but Karmelo's location is still stating that he's at the stadium. Like, what's going on? So I headed to the school, and that's how I found out what happened.
And how I found out, I was actually in a work meeting, and when she first called me, I thought it was because it was right after April Fools. I was like, oh, y'all playing this, because he doesn't, this is not him. Yeah. So I was like, oh, you playing, all right, whatever. But she was like, no, he was involved in the stabbing. So when we heard that, I didn't know what happened at the time. And they kept us from everything. Like, they kept us, so we running around from place to place.
So that is, those are Karmelo Anthony's parents, and they shared, as you guys saw, how they found out what was happening with his son, which in itself is, if a student is involved in a fatal stabbing, what do you mean you're emailing the parents? Like, that is something I remember, like, just something simple, like there was a verbal altercation in school. They're calling the parents, like, you need to do this. So that in itself, I think, is insane. Why are you emailing parents in something that's such a serious situation? And then the second clip that I'm going to play from the same interview from The Breakfast Club is the parents kind of explaining why they feel that this trial was a setup from the beginning. So let's listen to that one.
Karmelo tell you happened that day at the track meet?
He was sitting there seeing his friend. Once you get the reports and everything, he was actually his girlfriend's cousin invited him to the tent. Mm-hmm. So when they invited him to the tent, it was just, hey, what's going on, such and such. It was raining. He sat there. Then next you know it, you had these two guys who approached him. Even seeing the video in court, it was like, I know y'all see this. and we got comfortable with the instructions that we was told. We was told not to say nothing. We was told not to do this. So we did everything we did. We followed all instructions that we were told. Hey, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this. Hey, don't talk to this person, don't talk to this person. It was all this. And look what happened to my son.
It sounds like you wish you had talked more, that you had said more, that you had got your story out more.
So that is the other part, right? They feel like, first of all, there's so many different stories. Like some people are saying that like Anthony just went to the tent, as you guys saw from the parents. The parents are saying that Karmelo Anthony's girlfriend's cousin invited him to the tent. So there's a lot of he said, she said situations. But at the end of this clip, you heard the parents saying like they were told, oh, you should get like a white attorney to help fight this crime because it'll probably be better for you. You shouldn't speak to any media outlets about it. Yes, he had a gag order, so they kind of didn't have a choice on that. But the parents feel like they were forced to stay shut about this, and they feel like if they would have gotten their story out there earlier, maybe they could have had a different result. But now I want to share the Metcalf's side of the story. So this is a clip from the Metcalf's dad, who, you know, he did lose a son at the end of the day. And then we're going to unpack. There's a lot to unpack here, but let's hear the dad.
Metcalf was in court every day of Anthony's trial. The 19-year-old, now convicted murderer, not only took his son Austin's life, he did it right in front of Austin's twin brother, Hunter.
What killed me was the body cam footage when I could hear Hunter screaming, oh God, my brother, my twin. You know, as a parent, you always want to protect your kids. And to hear my son and the fear in his voice, and I'm not there to fix it.
What was it like sitting in that courtroom with Karmelo Anthony for 5 or 6 days?
Challenging is the first word that comes to my mind. And I'll even say this. I had a little bit of sorrow because I'm human. And that poor boy is fixing to experience a life that I would not wish upon anyone.
Metcalf says even today he's received death threats and has previously endured doxing of his personal information and multiple swatting calls to his house from people who he says have tried to villainize Austin and the family.
I would hope they take a look in the mirror. And if you have children, and if it was your child who was murdered, would you like people dragging his name through the mud, making memes, making jokes, and just really vile comments?
Where do you and the Metcalf family go from here?
Well, I mean, this is day one of a long healing process. Because honestly, it's been impossible to start healing until this trial was complete.
The trial may be over, but the racial polarization among Americans on display outside the Collin County Courthouse continues.
Look at the effect, not just the effect here between the Metcalf family and the Anthony family. Look what it did, one, to those kids they have to live with. Two, it took on this huge, wider, let's have a race war throughout the nation.
Metcalf insists that his son had no racist motives when he approached Anthony about leaving a track team tent.
This case was never about race.
There's going to be those people now that just, you know, try to throw shade on the whole trial with the jury makeup and the speed of it and that sort of thing. I mean,
well, those are the same people that said he was jumped by 4 people. His phone was broken. You're going to spin whatever story to try to keep yourself afloat.
Metcalf believes Anthony should have received a life sentence. He says if Anthony is up for parole in 17 years, he will be there in some form to argue against it.
if I'm still alive, yes, I will be there in person. If not, I am going to make a video, if I'm passed on, that can be played.
So overall, I think the main arcing issue here is who gets the right to claim self-defense. Because I think we've seen several times over and over again where a white person does something and they say, oh, I did this in an act of self-defense. When it's against a person of color and it is acceptable. Like, oh, well, of course you were scared about this Black person walking down the street and approaching you. Like, of course. But when it is the other way around and a person of color says, oh, I didn't feel safe, it's like, why would you not feel safe? You know? And I think also the other point that I think people are getting misconstrued is not that people are arguing that Karmelo Anthony should not face consequences, because yes, at the end of the day, regardless of intent or not, he did kill somebody due to a stabbing. I think the issue is they had deliberations and in less than 3 hours, they decided that they could have, and they convicted him of murder, right? And people are saying, when you say murder, you need to prove, right, that Karmelo Anthony went under that tent and had the intent, like, oh, I'm going under this tent to kill Austin Metcalf. And people are arguing that Karmelo Anthony didn't go to this track meet with intentions to kill this person, right? They're saying he could have, been convicted of manslaughter, which, yes, you still got to pay for your crimes because you did end up killing somebody, but the intent element of the intent element is not there, right? Like, yes, you killed somebody, but your intent was never to kill a person. So I think the reason why this case is so, heartbreaking and infuriating, yes, someone was killed, but again, Black people of color can never be like, oh, I was scared and that's why I defended myself. And time again, we see that. And now this 19-year-old guy will be in prison for 35 years.
And it's just, I'm not laughing because it's funny. I'm laughing because there's just so many thoughts that's going through my head, and it really boils down to this simple aspect. Everybody loves to say we make everything about race, but they don't realize that race is a social construct that is built not only based off of spewed narratives, but based off of the standards you set for certain races, the stereotypes you set for certain races, and what you deem acceptable for certain races, correct? So Shayla and I have even experienced this in the lighter sense in workplaces, correct? Where if one of my counterparts who's not a person of color or Black, if they act a particular way, the reaction to them is going to be completely different versus me, because there's already this set stereotype against me that I am automatically the aggressor. I'm automatically the person who's going to take it there. My reaction is always going to be the most volatile. My reaction is always going to be deemed worse than my counterparts. Why? Because those set stereotypes, those set standards, those set attributes against Black women is automatically always going to be at the forefront of your mind, right? So now when we talk about this case, and Shayla, you bring up an excellent point. When it comes to race, the notion of self-defense is always going to be deemed differently for a person of color or Black person versus someone who is fair-skinned or white. It's just realistic, right? Because then the people who want to sit here and say, I'm not saying Karmelo Anthony does not deserve to go to jail, because honestly, in the sad sense of this, two families have been ruined by this case. Like Austin Metcalf's family, they lost a son. Karmelo Anthony's family, they lost a son. One is physically not here, and one is going to spend his life, almost basically majority of his life, behind a cell, right? And when the moment I heard about this case, the thing I automatically thought about was the case that recently happened with, I believe his name was Rick Chow, how they found him not guilty for shooting.
It was like at a gas station, right?
Yes, and like him and his son chased this boy for like 10 plus miles or something along the lines of that, and shot him in the back. And he was told they decided that he was not guilty. For all the evidence and everything that they heard, every story that they heard, they deemed him not guilty of murder because he was protecting himself. He was protecting his store. He was this, that, and the third. You thought he stole 5-10 water bottles. Listen, I'm the facts I'm giving you aren't all the way like correct, but basically that's the gist of it. But to me, I'm like, that story doesn't even make any sense, because if somebody stole water bottles, and as people who have worked in retail, Shayla, what's the first thing they tell you? If somebody's stealing, you're not chasing them.
Right.
You don't go after them.
1,000%.
As someone who's worked at retail, I've been told that in every job. Why? Why? A water bottle, if it was true that he was stealing water bottles, what is $2.50 for a water bottle going to do?
Taking someone's life versus a water bottle is just insanity to me. And again, it just proves, like in this case, the person that claimed self-defense was believed. Right. And I think
it even goes back as far as Trayvon Martin. You thought because he had a hoodie that he was automatically this villain, that he was automatically doing this, he was automatically doing that. He had a gun in his pocket. I thought he was going to kill me. Whole time it's iced tea and Skittles. Like, it's like, oh, I'm getting emotional thinking about it, because it's like, how many times does things like this have to happen before you're like, where, like, it's unfair. Like,
yeah, it's 1,000% infuriating. And even like in day-to-day life, the amount of times that I could say the exact same thing that my white counterparts can say, but it is taken in a completely different way, just simply because of the way I look. Oh, you have an attitude, or oh, you think you run stuff, or oh, this, that, the third. Like, you literally feel like even in corporate America, you gotta, tippy toe your way. You can't. Honestly, there are times where I'm like, mind you, I think that I am super nice, but there are several times where I gotta like pass an email through my friend, and I'm like, hey, like, do you think this sounds rude or not? Because literally every day you have to kind of accommodate yourself to this white-centered world, right? I could say the same exact thing, but it's taken in a completely different way because of how I look. And I know people are always like, oh, it's not about race, it's not about race, it's not about race. But we see it time and time again.
It's easy to say that it's not about race when you are not impacted. Like, literally yesterday, I had a conversation with my boss because we had all the higher ups in the building. And she was like, oh, let's make sure, like, what kind of behavior are we going to have today? I looked at her dead in her face and I said, I'm going to behave like Rebecca. Just like they behave like themselves, I'm going to behave like me. And if there's a problem, that sounds like something you need to find in a math problem. That doesn't sound like something that's for me. And my boss looked at me dead in my face and was like, Rebecca. And I said, yes. Because one thing about it, I have always been this type of person. I do not sit here and try to cater or pander to white people at all. And if you're offended by that, that sounds like a personal issue. And you need to sit down with a therapist to figure that out, right? I do not choose to make myself digestible for nobody. I don't care about the race. I don't care about the room. I don't try to make myself digestible, because at the end of the day, am I living comfortable for me? I already have this notion. I have the understanding that when it comes to my skin color, there's automatically going to be these perceptions when it comes to me. There's already going to be these stereotypes set for me. And I don't have to live by the notions that a society has sat there and put for me. But that does not make me. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're good. I was going to say, I know we don't try to, but at the end of the day, the reality is that we do shift a little bit. Even if you don't realize it, we enter certain rooms and we do shift. Not 1,000%, because at the end of the day, just us, how we look, like there's no assimilation for real. Like, I pull up and it is what it is, Caribbean for life. But you know what I mean? Like us unconscious, can't even say the word, like unconsciously. That's not a word. Unconsciously, it does happen. If you're in a room with just a gajillion white people, and just honestly, I feel
like that shift comes not from like a space of like, oh, I need to pander to these people. It's more of a space of uncomfortability. You're moving based off of emotion, not because you have an understanding that, oh, I need to pander myself to these white folks.
Right. No, 1,000%. And the last thing that I want to discuss is like the jury element of this all, because the jury was all white. And so I think oftentimes, even me, when I get a little jury letter, I'm like dreading it. Like, oh, I don't want to be a part of this. I don't want this. I don't want that. But it is so important. This is why I stress news and being a part of your local situation, because whether you like it or not, it's going to affect you. You know what I mean?
I just wanted to say really quickly. So the jury apparently reportedly had, it was consisted of both men and women. It reportedly included 3 Asian women, a Hispanic male, and 1 Middle Eastern woman, apparently, according to reports.
So no black people.
Yes. Like, I'm just.
Oh, okay.
Before somebody's like, well, there were minorities there. I don't know why people assume, just like Shayla said, like, not all minorities are a monolith. Like, just because, like, do we not see the racial tensions between the Asian community and black people all the time? Like, there's even tensions between race and stuff like that, even within our own communities. Prime example, Dominican, DR and Haiti. Like, that's just like, just because, oh, you're a minority or a person of color or this, that does not mean that I view you the same, because a lot of times these areas automatically consider whiteness to be superior.
Right. Yeah.
And
I just want to say, if you get a little jury notice, please show up. Please do it. I know it's annoying. Like, if you're like me, I'm very much routine based. Like, what you mean now I gotta go here? It is so important for you to be active in your community. You know what I mean? I know it's not for everybody, but just try, because at the end of the day, you know who will always show up? White people. They're gonna be at the local little meetings. Oh, I don't want this project being a part of my community. Oh, I don't want this affordable housing plan to be in my community. Like, they're always going to show up. They are going to vote. And so you could complain all you want, but if you're not actively working and engaging in your community, you will not see change. And I know sometimes it seems like, why I don't want to do this, but little by little, things will matter. I don't know. I don't know how else to explain that.
I just want to, like, before we move on to the next topic, like, I just want to reiterate, in this case, 2 families lost. Like, regardless of how you want to put it, 2 families lost. One lost a son and the other one lost their son as well. Like, 2 families lost their children in this case, correct? I'm not saying Karmelo Anthony does not deserve to go to jail. What I'm saying is, like, on a fact-based system, when we look at the defense of self-defense, ask yourself, why do certain cases get preferential treatment to that defense of self-defense over other people? And when you look at that, ask yourself, why does it seem like a certain race does get more of that, okay, yes, it's true for them, versus another person? Like, I need us to be realistic as a society. And I think that's why things get so problematic, because everything doesn't need to be this grandiose, like, debate. It doesn't have to be that. The fact that a black man, well, he's a man now. It happened when he was 17. He's 19 now. I mean, you could still consider him a teen, but technically in the eyes of the law, he's a man, right? When it comes to these cases, like, you cannot tell me that it doesn't make sense. Like, I don't know what his law team was doing. I don't understand. Like, I don't know if you've ever watched a show Bull. Like, when you're going through jury duty, like, both of these attorneys, the defense attorney and the prosecutor's office, is there, and they're going through jury deliberation. They're the ones picking. I don't understand what the mindset was like for I don't get it. And I try not to look too much into this case because, as y'all can tell, I was just getting emotional thinking about like being in that type of situation. But I just don't understand us as a society. Like, y'all can't tell me facts don't look like facts to y'all. Like, what?
It is super infuriating, and I'm sure we will continue to hear lots about this case. As we mentioned, Anthony and his family has appealed the conviction, so there's definitely going to be a lot more to be discussed in the future. The next topic I want to talk about in the news corner is Trump and what he has going on. So his birthday is next week, and he will be having a UFC fight outside of the White House. Okay. So Trump is set to host one of the most unlikely and controversial UFC fighting events in history. The UFC Freedom 250 is going to be a 7-bout event on June 14th, timed to Trump's 80th birthday and the nation's 250th birthday, fall on the White House's South Lawn. Okay. The 60 million spectacle is the culmination of a decades-long relationship between a president and a sport that harnessed bravado to reach America's most prominent address, right? So I want to show you UFC. They like fight with the knuckles. Like, I think it's one of the sports that has like the least coverage type vibe.
Well,
and
it was the UFC that was training FBI, right? Or like they had a seminar, right?
Yeah, I believe so. So this is, mind you, the United States has so many issues. I know we haven't talked about, the Strait of Hormuz and Iran and Israel. Baby, all of that is still happening. We just haven't discussed it because it's the same old. Trump says, oh, we're reaching an agreement, and then there's another escalation. And instead, Trump thought that, you know what? Not only do I want a UFC fight in honor of my birthday and also the nation's 250th birthday, but I don't want to go to where y'all play. I need the stadium being built right in front of me. Let me show you this. This is in front of the White House. This is where they're going to have this UFC fight on June 14th. And this is, Trump has always been, I guess, a UFC supporter. As you can see, it is real bloody and real aggressive and matches the whole manly type of vibe. And I just have so many questions. First of all, I don't know whose money they're using to set up this whole situation, because I know for a fact they dropped a bag to bring this ring outside of the White House. And it is just mind-blowing to me. And again, I always say I'm not surprised because it's Trump. He's going to do whatever he wants. And I can't even imagine if Obama or Biden decided, oh yeah, for my birthday, I'm going to actually set up a fighting ring outside of the White House, which is supposed to be the people's home, right? You just there working for us. Yeah, I need the coins. I want to build this, and this is how I'm going to celebrate my birthday. Is just, as so many things are happening right now in the United States, it is so bizarre to me. And again, Trump has been falling asleep. He went out, as we're going to discuss when we get to the sports corner. He went to the Knicks game, was falling asleep. But when Biden shut his eyes for 1 second, was a whole, he's old. Trump is turning 80. So I don't know why y'all kept dwelling about that. Like, Trump is young. He is also aging. Y'all were talking so much about the prices of egg and gasoline prices are so expensive when we were under Biden, but baby, things have only gotten worse with Trump. And so it's just the goalpost continues to shift with President Trump, and it is infuriating. Whenever he does something, him and his clan, like, because they follow him, like, it don't matter what he does, it's always going to be good in their eyes. It's just weird.
Shayla, but you're talking about something as simple as fact over feelings. These people don't care about facts. They care about the feeling of feeling like they're feeling like, oh, I can't be the victim. That's when Biden was president. That's basically what it was. You felt like you can't be the victim. When Biden was president, you felt like too many people were offered opportunity, and you felt like it was being opportunities were being taken away from you. But also, if you didn't qualify, you didn't qualify, right? But it's just like, fact over feeling. People don't care about the facts; they care about the feeling. They care about feeling like.
But what feeling? Are you feeling better? What's the feeling? He's not doing nothing for you. He's doing everything for himself.
Girl, everything.
So what's the feeling?
From the moment his slogan, "Make America Great," when you ask people when America was great, they can't give you a specific time. They can only give you a specific feeling where they felt like their whole life, they felt like they were in power, that every opportunity was going to be presented to them. It's not about facts. It's about feeling like someone is giving you that power that you don't. I don't know what power you thought you had, but hey.
Yeah, it's all weird. And so yeah,
if you see America.
Yeah, if you see, I'm sure there's gonna be lots of clips and it's going to be a spectacle. But I also think it's a great representation of how American politics is right now. Baby, the Republicans and Trump are knuckle fighting, all of y'all. Boom, 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 boom. And we are just all falling on the ground, blood, just sitting in blood, and it's just so infuriating. And again, y'all, please tap into politics because there's so much happening right now. And I get it, also for your own peace, you gotta separate a little bit, but just tap in here and there because it is important, especially for us minorities. They've been plotting against us, and if you don't tap in, it can only get worse. But now that we talked about heavy stuff, let us move over to our social corner.
I'm trying to pivot emotionally. That Karmelo Anthony thing really triggered my heart. But okay, welcome to our social corner, y'all, where we talk about some of the things we've seen trending on social media, whether that be Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, whatever. If we saw it and we want to talk about it, we're going to do a little 1-2 on it. Okay. So the first thing we are going to talk about, Shayla, I don't have the document up. What are we talking about?
Oh, yeah. So for the first topic that we are going to discuss is Kaicenat, baby. He is back for season 2 of Streamer University. And, a lot of people were questioning, like, is he going to bring this back? Is he not? Yes. Not only is he bringing it back, but he is incorporating new elements to it, right? So Streamer University is back for a second year. Live streamers are jumping into action with those applications in hopes of joining what has turned into one of the biggest streaming opportunities at Streamer University. Like I mentioned last year, is not an actual university, y'all, so don't feel like there's gonna be tuition and y'all got real books. This is all to create content and learn more about the industry. Okay, it's not an actual university. So at Streamer University, creators learn how to grow their audience, among other things, while also getting to collaborate and learn from the biggest creators who are already have built big platforms. This year, Cenat has added in-person interviews in hub cities, starting off in New York today, LA, and then he's ending the in-person interviews in Atlanta. I was seeing things on Twitter, like people, although it's supposed to be the in-person interviews are supposed to kick off in New York Friday at 1 p.m. People were already lining up Thursday at midnight, honey. The people are outside and they want to get their opportunity to be a part of Streamer University. So good luck to all of those that, are applying. There's definitely so much competition. A lot of people that went to Streamer University last year in its inaugural year are also applying this year. So it's definitely gonna be real hard to get in, but best of luck to you all.
I saw something where apparently Kai was like, y'all, like, actually, like, fill out the application. Like, y'all putting AI answers, like, be different, be unique. And I was like, not y'all using AI. If that's something you really want, put some effort into it. Like, not y'all using AI responses. Come on, be for real. But like Shayla said, good luck to the people who are applying and the people who are going to be doing interviews. I wish y'all much success.
Yes. Now for the second.
Yes. The next thing I want to talk about. Okay, so we've talked about PJ on this podcast before, but in reference to like the drama he's had with Brittany Renner, right? And so I kind of wanted to talk about this because I feel like Shayla and I have had a conversation about this. together, but never on the podcast. So PJ Washington recently unveiled a large collection of his new tattoos, highlighted by a detailed leg sleeve honoring his viral stand on business moment from the 2024 playoffs. The tattoo features a portrait of Washington in his signature folded arm pose, and the phrase standing on business, the Dallas skyline in the background, and the artwork commemorates the game 3 of the Mavericks' first round playoff series against the Los Angeles Clippers, where he made the gesture in front of the Clippers bench. He also added to his extensive tattoo collection with a full back piece that included a portrait of his wife, a Bible verse, and his last name prominently displayed across his upper back. So let me show you guys the artwork. So the first one I'm going to show you is the leg. This is the one where I told you he said he was standing on business. Like it was like a whole little kerfuffle. And he said, hold up, pose on it. And I remember when it happened, everybody's like, nah, he mad tough for that, right? And I also want to show you guys the back, like his back artwork. I don't know if Shayla's seen it yet, but this is basically it. It's his wife, Alicia, on the back. You see her, right? And then you see the Bible verse. It's very extensive. I'm sure he's going to be needing a lot of A&D ointment to put on that. But I wanted to ask Shayla, right? Now, Shayla and I are both single, so let me preference that by saying this. But how would you feel if your significant other tattooed your face, your name, or your initials on themselves?
I would be like, oh, okay, thank you. I mean, it's not gonna make me love you anymore for it. Like, oh, okay, thanks. Like, it's not something that would, spark a crazy reaction. Like, oh my god, I love you so much. Oh my god, I'm like, oh, okay. Like, I don't know if it would be worth it for me.
I think for me, I automatically, like, when people do tattoos of of their significant others, like when people do tattoos of their significant others, whether it be the name, the face, or initials, or anything like that, I automatically feel like you're jinxing the relationship. This is just in my mind. I just feel like whenever people do it, I'm like, you're jinxing it. And I feel like if my husband, I don't expect my boyfriend to do nothing like that. Obviously, if my boyfriend feel like we're gonna get married, cool, calm, collected. But I feel like the moment my significant other does a tattoo, whether it be my face, whether it be my name, whether it be my initial, or anything related to me, you gotta sign a contract afterwards that says you can't go nowhere, and the only way to leave this is death. Like, I need you, because at this point I feel like you jinxing us on purpose. Like why would you do that?
Yeah, I'm like, you should just save that money, because tattoos are expensive. So I can only imagine, although this is an NBA player, he not pressed about no coins. But I'm talking about in my situation. Well, you know what? Let me say I'm gonna be dating someone that can afford to get these hefty tattoos. But I'm just like, I just don't think it's worth it for me, because I'm not gonna be moved enough. Maybe if it's a couple that's very into tattoos and like that's their thing, I think that would be cuter. But I would prefer more. I think Stephen Curry and Aisha have that, where it's like they have their like little ring tattoo. I think that's cute. That would move me more than you putting my whole name and face. And
but he does that because when he plays, he can't have his ring on. So
right. But I think that is more cute to me. Like, that would be more meaningful to me than you just getting my face.
And I don't want anybody to think I brought this up and I wanted to talk about this to be a hater. I think it's cute. I'm like, go ahead, boo, do you. I just think for me, when I see those type of things, I'm like, I just feel like you're jinxing the relationship. And that's why I'm saying, like, my man would need to sign a contract. The only way to leave this is like, you can't divorce me, 1. 2, death's gonna have to do its part.
Oh, baby, tattoo removals exist now.
Oh, so yes, but even so, it's like, if I'm so obviously, if it's strenuous situation, like, yeah, we can leave. But like, even in that contract, like, if you want to divorce me, like, you really gotta just die.
Also, Rebecca is a bit crazy, and we've already discussed that. So if you're tattooing her name, just make sure that's like you tattooing a life. Like, for you, if you thought the vows were through life and death, a whole tattoo, Rebecca's going to act. She's gonna give you the reaction that you want, and so and with that comes, you're locked in forever. So just make sure when you think about that tattoo, you know what it's coming with.
No, because honestly,
you down.
Taylor already tells y'all, like, No, right. What?
What do you mean?
And it's like, I know it's not healthy. I know it's not
It's
healthy.
not.
But
No.
I get real territorial.
Yes.
And so the moment you tattoo me on you, you automatically become
That's like stamping it. Like, yes.
Like, you property of Rebecca. You about to have someone else on my property.
Oh my God. Yeah, I don't even like the sound of that. But the last thing that I want to talk about in our social corner is, baby, Love Island is everywhere, okay? And as we've shared here, Rebecca's not watching this season. She was traumatized after the last season. I've never watched a season ever in my life. But you know what I do watch? I love Jamila Bell. I believe it was her name. I love Jamila Bell down. Okay, I don't watch Love Island. I've never watched the episode, but I love Jamila Bell's TikTok commentary after every episode. She is just so funny to me, and it's just, she gets so into it, and I love her. So really, I just want to give a shout out to Jamila Bell because she's so funny, and she be going off on these people, and I just like to see how into it people get into these reality shows. I'm like, girl. She's like, this episode had me so traumatized. It's just so funny to me. So shout out to Jamila. Please continue to make those commentary videos because I watch through her. So whatever she is, I know the names. I know Melanie and the bombshells, and she posts someone for a chat and this and that. I know names because of Jamila. So shout out to you, girl. Keep doing those videos. You wanted to say something?
Yeah, I just wanted y'all to hear the crickets. Listen, like I said, I've been seeing, it's been popping up on my timeline too, and I make sure to scroll past every single video because I'm like, I refuse. Like I said, last year traumatized me. I refuse to go back. Like, if you ever want, as someone who already doesn't like people, if you want me to have more of a disdain for people, throw me back into the Love Island universe. I can't do it again. I can't. But
yes, now
your commentary. Let us get to the long-awaited sports corner. Hey, okay. So before we get into the playoffs, let us talk about the World Cup has officially started, y'all. Right? And I believe yesterday the first game was between South Africa and Mexico, and Mexico ended up winning. So now let's run this back real quick, right? So when it comes to this World Cup, we've been talking about it a lot because Jersey is one of the host states, right, for this whole kerfuffle, right? And
which is so ironic to me. I think Rebecca and I had an epiphany. I saw a video on TikTok that shows every host state, and all the states were like this big on the mat. And then they pulled over to Jersey, and then it's us that's this small. I'm like, how did they land on us? We are so small. And I'm like, well, shout out to us. But then also it's like, it makes sense why we struggling so bad because all the other host states, baby, are thick states that got way more money than we do and also way more space. So I guess we make and do, but that's why we can't afford nothing. Where New York at?
And my whole thing is, right, I think the fact that obviously some conversation happened. It's not just FIFA who decided let's bring this to the US. Obviously, there's other conversations that happen. But the fact that it was agreed upon for the fact that it was agreed upon for the World Cup to happen in the US is so like mind-boggling to me because it's just like, one, as much as people like to try and shove down my throat that like I know my family likes soccer and stuff like that. I can't say that I'm a big soccer fan because I mainly grew up watching basketball and football. But the United States as a total, in totality, is not a soccer nation, right? Like it's like mainly like, you know, other foreign countries that love soccer and that's where it's a big thing and stuff like that. The US is not that. I don't know how many people in the US are really going to be partaking in the World Cup. I'm sure there is. I'm not going to sit here and like make a generalized statement that no one in the US is going to be taking part in World Cup. Yes, there will be. But I just feel like the numbers aren't going to be as high as people expect.
Yeah, I think that we just don't appreciate it enough, to be honest. Like, I think the reason why they brought it here is probably because at the end of the day, say whatever you want about America, we def have a whole lot going on, but it's still America. And, you know, people still look at America. That's the money plays. They, you know, they set the tone for a lot of things. So it was kind of like, if the opportunity is there, FIFA is not going to be like, well, no, it's at the end of the day, it is America. But I do think that we're not appreciating it enough. And to Rebecca's point, it's just because soccer isn't prioritized enough as a sport. Even like, I was looking through our teams, like the USA team, which plays today, and most of the players are not even from America for real. I mean, like, they have dual citizens or whatever. So I guess they are American because they got their dual citizenship. But it's not like, I think it's like 2 or 3 of them that were actually born and raised in the US. Some people were born here, but they were raised in like England or other countries where they actually do take soccer way more serious. But they, you know, I think America is trying to sell FIFA World Cup is here. FIFA World Cup is here. Like, on my way to the gym, like the CVS near me, they have FIFA World Cup signage everywhere, right? Like, even in the highways, like, they are trying to push it like FIFA World Cup is here. But at the end of the day, I think people in the US are not going to spend that much money to be a part of the games. But yeah, I really do want people to show up and show out, but I understand that it's just not a priority for real.
And Shayla, this is how, maybe call me stupid, call me dumb, right? But this is how so out of touch and out of tune I am with soccer and the World Cup, that I knew about Haiti. I knew about all the other teams. Like, I knew that there was going to be all these different countries taking part. Never, not once, until Thursday, did it click to me that the United States has a team playing in the World Cup. When I tell you that, I said, oh, I didn't.
You didn't know? Oh, okay.
I had no coinkadink.
Well, lucky for you, you found that at the right time, because they actually
America not going to see my support.
They play today. These are the games that happen on Friday, which is today. At 3 p.m., we have Canada versus Bosnia, and I'm so sorry, I can't pronounce that. And then at 9 p.m. is U.S. versus Paraguay.
How you say that?
Okay, period. But I'm rooting for vibes, to be honest. And I would want Haiti, obviously, to win, or any like Caribbean country, island. I'm there. I'm here for it.
Is DR in it?
No, girl. We is def not there. Oh. But Haiti's there, so I'm rooting for Haiti.
Yes. So, in honor of, before we get to my Knicks, obviously, as y'all can tell, I'm the type of person, when I support through and through. So, one of the things that I really wanted, I was like, you know, I know I'm Haitian. I know I'm Haitian to my core. Like, I do. Even though I was born here, if you ask me what I am, I'm going to tell you Haitian. If the flag behind you ain't tell you, let me tell you, even when I sleep, y'all going to see this Haitian body on me. Okay, this is what I'm aware when I'm watching the World Cup matches, the Haiti World Cup games. Well, Haiti's playing in the World Cup, but they start on Saturday, and they're going to be starting with Scotland. Then they're going to go to, who's the next one? I think Brazil. And then after Brazil, they're going to go with Morocco, right? Just know, when I'm sitting in my house watching the games, I'm going to be wearing this, okay?
She also has a jersey.
I do. It's in my closet. Yes, I'm going to wear my bonnet. I'm going to wear my jersey, and I'm going to make sure I have a Haitian flag blanket. I'm going to make sure I put the AC on full blast and spread that over my legs, because I need y'all to understand, like, Haiti, we got this. Like, we're here. Listen, my support is going to be in full. And guess what, Shayla? I started learning so much about like the World Cup, and I found out that like if you win, like it's like different groups. It's like from A to I or something like that. And like within the group, like Haiti's in Group C, I believe. Yes, they're in Group C. And so it's like whoever, every game you win. So like they're gonna be playing. It's like in that Group C, it's Morocco, it's Brazil, it's Scotland, and it's Haiti. And so when you win, it's like a win is 3 points, a tie is 2, and then a loss is obviously 0. And from there, you figure out whichever one of the 4 has like the lowest score, they get kicked off. And then the next 3 move in to the next round. And then that's when we do like elimination rounds kind of thing.
Yes, there is sense to the madness, or they have a whole lot going on. So shout out to them. Comment down below, who are you rooting for? We would love to know. But now let us move over to the obviously the prime topic. Everybody's been talking about the Knicks, NBA Finals, Knicks in 5, all the things. Rebecca, tell us about your experience watching the crazy game. That was game 4.
I think the last time we talked. I think the last time we really locked in, right? It was after game 2, right? That was last Friday, right? And so then we were waiting for game 3. And I was just like, oh my gosh. We talked about game 2, I believe. Regardless of the matter, whatever. Great. Game 3 happens, right? And I already had a feeling when I walked into work. I already had a feeling. I'm like, I feel like the Spurs are going to win this game. Like, I feel like knowing the characteristics we've seen from Wemby, the characteristics we've seen from Castle and Harper and Vassell, like I feel like the characteristics I've seen, they're not allowing themselves to go down 3-0. Like I just don't see that happening, correct? So then game 3 happens, and I was like, I wasn't like my bundle of nerves because I already had a feeling of what the outcome was going to be. Now, don't get me wrong, the Knicks made me think they was going to win, but in the end, the Spurs won game 3. Now, game 4, but also let me know, game 3 also had a lot of controversy in it because Trump was at the game. The man's was falling asleep. Then you had like him and Stephen A. Smith going back and forth. Like, it's just, what? You have something to say?
Oh, yeah. I was going to say, usually they had like MSG, they had a watch party, all of these things because of how, anytime the president is around, the security measures is going to be all the way through the roof. And so they had like a no bag policy, and Jordan Woods has like this lucky bag that she couldn't bring to the game. And she was like, well, no, don't you worry, girl. Our team has been working on,
some shoes
that are made out of what the purse was made out of. And everybody was like, oh my God, no, the lucky purse. Like, we need you there. It was just a lot of bad vibes were surrounding this. Cardi B was the halftime performer, and they definitely lost. But I'm not going to say it was because of my girl Cardi. It was because, I don't know.
And like everybody was just talking about how like the distractions were in the building, like the fact that like Trump was there, the fact that like all these like rules and parameters was set in place. Like it was just distracting, correct? But game 4 happened, right? And so I was nervous game 4. I'm like, okay, like, this is a young team. They're on a high. Momentum is really with the Spurs right now. I was nervous. Then game 4 happens. And let me tell you, when I tell you, I've been a Knicks fan, like I said, my whole life since I popped out the womb and popped out when I was going go Knicks, correct? Because of my father. I have been pissed off by the Knicks many times. Many times. Like a therapist would tell me it's a toxic relationship, correct? But I'm a masochista. Like I like pain. I like misfortune sometimes, right? So when I said game 1, I see the first quarter happen. Karl Anthony Towns pissed me off instantly. The game just started before they can even get to 10 minutes left. You already got 2 fouls on you and your behind is sitting on the bench. I felt like that switched a lot of the energy for the game. Because I'm like, Karl Anthony Towns isn't there. Like the offensive help that he would provide is not there. Defensive help, not there. I'm like, okay, so now the game plan you were originally running with is completely shifted. Now you're on the move. You're trying to figure it out as the game goes on. They could not figure it out from the first quarter to the second quarter to the third quarter. It was to the point where I'm at work. I had to change the channel because my blood was boiling. Like boiling so bad. I don't think y'all understand how pissed I was. I was so mad. I was like, they need me in the locker room. I would have cursed everybody out. Right? So then I leave work and it's like 7, 8, maybe 9 minutes left to go in the third quarter. I'm like, okay, I get home. The fourth quarter is about to start. And I said to myself, I hope when I get back home, the Knicks have some miraculous effort and they're down by 10. Right. And so I get in the house, I go in the living room, I ask my dad, what's the score? He said they down by 15. I said, okay, so I got time. Right. So I I'm like, okay, they didn't start yet. So I'm like, I got time to go wash my face. I'm putting a face mask on. I let it sit for a little bit. I handle my hygiene, everything like that. Mind you, I only did that for like 6 minutes. All I hear is, yes. And that's my dad downstairs. I said, what the hell is going on? I run to my room and I see it's 4 minutes left to go and they down by 5. I said, mind you, half my face mask is washed off. Half of it still on. I didn't care. I sat in the bed. I said, I don't care about this. I need to see what happens next. Baby, I've never seen anything like, I need y'all to understand. They were down by 29. 29.
And I just want to hit a pause on this. This is why I always say, el que ríe de último, ríe mejor. The person that laughs last laughs the best. These, like, the Spurs, everybody's talking about the coach needs to be fired. De'Aaron Fox, anytime it matters, his brain is like shuts off or something. I don't know. It seems to be a track record. But like, once you start being too cocky and you think that, oh, we already got this, baby, there's still time on the clock, especially in basketball. A few little 3-pointers and that's it. Your lead is non-existent. So I just wanted to give, I can only imagine the Spurs fan, how they feeling, because it was all but guaranteed that you were going to win if you just stayed with your mind active. Like, there was no reason for you to win that game. And there was just so many, like, what is wrong with you type of moments for like the Spurs side that is like, there was no reason why you should have lost that game, but you did because you thought you was bigger than the program. And the Knicks never give up. That's like their whole personality. Like, they're going to go for it and they're going to fight back and da-da-da-da. So why would you, and this is the finals, why would you ever think that they're just going to be like, oh, we're just going to lose this game? Well, no.
Shayla, and when I tell you, I was sitting in my bed in disbelief. And it was funny because like before I left work, one of my coworkers texted my manager and texted him. It was like, how's Rebecca doing? Because mind you, again, this was like the second quarter and like we're about to go into halftime. He's like, she's not doing good. No, I tell you, none of my coworkers, I was hot. I was so pissed off. Like, I wish y'all could see my face. Like, oh, I was like, they need to put me in the locker room right now, right? And so then once I see that 450, they down by 5, they put Brunson and Alvarado together because Bridges wasn't giving me nothing. Like, yes, he had some timely shots, but he wasn't doing real good in game 4. Then Alvarado hit a 3, OG hit a 3. Now I'm like, okay, it's 35 seconds left. They down by 1 or 2 or whatever it is. And I was just like, oh my God, then Brunson shoots a 3. I said it misses. OG comes out of nowhere and puts the... When I tell you, I don't think y'all understand I screamed. It was like, what? It was cinematic. Like, y'all not, I wish I could be describing it better, but I didn't know what to do with myself. I threw myself out the bed. I'm on the floor screaming. My heart was palpitating. I was stressed. Then the last few seconds happened, and then they tried to get the ball to Castle. Josh Hart blocked it. Let me tell you this right now: if OG Anunoby did not make that tip in, that missed layup by by
Brunson.
By Hart.
Oh, the layup. Never mind.
Yes, the missed, dunk, layup. He didn't know what he wanted to do. But the missed shot by Hart. Let me tell you this. The Secret Service wouldn't be able to save Hart if OG Anunoby did not help.
I think it's so funny when I saw her name is Mariska, but I feel like most people know her as her character, which is Olivia Benson.
Olivia Benson, yeah.
Her face, my sis was ass. Like, I'm like, girl, it's so funny. Like, I think the beauty of sports is like the community it brings, like people from all, artists, like musicians and people that directors, producers, like from all walks of life, they come together. And it's like for these 2 hours, you're entertaining us and bringing us together because my girl, Olivia, I've never seen her. I'm like, girl, are you good? She came in after the game was over. I saw like videos on social media. She was just hugging OG and she was just I think it was so funny and so cute. And so now the Knicks head over to, first of all, I did not like that someone threw an egg on Wemby.
I was going to get into that. as a Knicks fan, I have criticized heavily the Philadelphia fan base, right? When it comes to the Eagles, I've said I don't like how the fans act. I think they do too much. They this, they're that. And I understand when it comes to New York teams and the way that people from New York or people within the New York fan base, I understand we can get rowdy. I understand we could do too much. But when I tell you y'all are overly doing it, it's actually like psychotic. Y'all need to find help, right? I get it. Y'all want to be outside their hotel room yelling, doing everything. I mean, personally, me, I got a job. I don't got time for that. But that's just me, right? But the fact that y'all over here throwing eggs and it hit him, first off, great aim. You need to go tell the
he has done absolutely nothing to like deserve that.
I mean, yes. In terms of like being harassed to that extent. But
right,
you know,
yes, he was being cocky, but let's also be honest. I feel like an athlete, when you on the court, is like, you know, it just comes with it. Like, oh, I just made back-to-back shots. You feeling yourself, you know, it just comes. But he hasn't like dragged somebody like, oh, y'all ain't ish and da 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 da. Once you start,
and this is why when I said like the National Guard needs to come if the Knicks win, and these are like, I need y'all to understand him getting hit in the egg. I said hit in the head, egg. Him getting hit in the head with an egg was after a Game 4 win. They won, not a loss. They won. And somebody decided to throw an egg at the back of Wemby's head, right? Can you imagine if the Knicks win the championship, how people are going to act? And I just like, I feel like the people, true fans are not doing all that. I feel like it's the people who are the bandwagons, the people who want to sit there and be chaotic and want to go with the narrative of being like dramatic and everything like that. Those are the people who are causing and wreaking havoc. Because even after Game 3, I think it was 21 people who were arrested in total for beating on people who had a Spurs shirt on, a Spurs jersey. You fighting people in the streets. Be for real.
That's weird.
Like, that's mad weird. And y'all so lucky New York is now an open carry state, because it would be a lot of fish fries and balloons.
But you know which one is? Texas.
And I'm just
also
saying,
I want to ask you a question. As we've already expressed here, you have been an OG Knicks fan. How do you feel about the influx of bandwagon fans that have joined? Because now everybody on IG, I see the little, like, when you can leave a note, Knicks in 5, Knicks in this, and orange and blue hearts. I'm like, I ain't never see y'all mention nothing about the Knicks in the regular season or years prior to that. But now all of a sudden, everybody a Knicks fan. How do you feel about that? Or do you welcome them with open arms?
It's like, I'm like, obviously sports is all meant to be about enjoyment. Like, if that's the case, y'all would consider me a bandwagon for the World Cup or soccer, because I ain't never watched a game in my life. So I think for me, I just feel like I won't entertain conversations with certain people if like I know you were never a Knicks fan. You know what I'm saying? Like, you telling me like you rooting for the Knicks and I know you never watched sports a day in your life. It's like, cool, calm, collected, enjoy, like get into it. Sports is about to be is meant to be about community. It's meant to be about enjoyment. So that's fine. Do it for you, but don't sit here from like telling me like, yeah, like the Knicks are my team, and like you boasting about it as if you've been through the years of trauma I have been through. Okay, like unless you've been through the years of disappointment that
Rebecca said you wasn't shooting with me in the gym
at all. Okay, because even when I became a Warriors fan, people called me a bandwagon because of Stephen Curry, and I was like, first of all, the Warriors was on my radar because I had a crush on Monte Ellis for the longest. Okay, people was like, Dad, you going back like that? Yes, I had a crush on Monte Ellis, and it wasn't I didn't get a crush on Stephen Curry until I saw him shoot 56 against my Knicks, and I said, who this little sponge cake? Right, but I like the way he carried
a sponge cake, honey.
Girl, looking real moist.
That's hilarious. But yeah, I am looking forward to see what ends up happening with the Knicks.
Let me say this, Knicks, I know you would rather win in Madison Square Garden. This is not the time.
Don't worry about that. It don't matter.
Do not worry. The celebration will be here when you get off that plane. If you let the Spurs get one more,
yeah,
go in there and handle business. I'm dead serious.
And I know Wemby, he probably thinking about that egg that was dropped. So he not playing with y'all. He said, "Oh yeah, wait till I get on this court. If you anything like me, because I'll take that personal. That's the problem. I take everything personal."
Oh, Shayla, I said one thing about it, there was like a missed flagrant call that Wemby had, pushed Brunson to the ground, and that had been a conversation, and the NBA deemed that it wasn't a flagrant, everything like that. One thing about Alvarado, let me tell you, that boy say, "Oh, it ain't gonna happen again. He gonna see me." Yeah. I like that. Even Mitchell Robinson, listen, I am the player they would have put into the game to get that flagrant, okay? Because you trying to pull you pushed my captain Clutch. Oh, baby, yeah. Coach Rebecca, check in. Oh, I'm knocking him on his behind. Yeah.
Right. So stay locked in. We will see what happens with the Knicks. If they win, you guys, don't you worry. You will hear all about it when Rebecca comes back on the podcast. As a reminder,
I'm gonna be on a TikTok.
Yes, as a reminder, we will not be dropping an episode next Friday. So please don't forget about us. We love y'all down. Make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe, follow us on all our social media platforms at toomuchsb. Specifically, on June 18th, it's Rebecca's birthday. So make sure you say happy birthday to her on her social media platforms. We will greatly appreciate it. Comment down balloons in honor of Rebecca's birthday. And yeah, we will see you guys next.
And comment on basketball, because the Knicks know that's my birthday gift to me. Like, they know me. Like, we family.
Right. Exactly. Tomato. On that note, enjoy your Friday, guys. Bye.
Bye.